If Zobrist's ball had been 4 inches farther off the line, that double would have been a double play and we would have lost the game. That was randomness. Like much of life, it was arbitrary. We were winners that night in Cleveland because when things went really, really wrong, and then when the rains came, our players already knew each other so well that they could come together. They already trusted each other so much that they could open up and be vulnerable. And they already were so connected that they could lift one another up. We had already won. That's why I had that smile on my face as I walked away from the weight room door. I later learned that the players-only meeting had been called by Hayward, a 27-year-old suffering through a terrible offensive season, by far the worst of his career. Most players who are having seasons that rough detach themselves from the team, either head to the disabled list or at the periphery of the clubhouse, isolate themselves. But Hayward stayed at the center of everything. He never stopped being invested in his teammates. He opened up to them about his struggles. He bought them sweets on the road for gatherings. The first to speak in the meeting was Ross, the 38-year-old backup catcher in his final season, who made a career out of being a wonderful teammate. And by the way, is now in the finals of Dancing with the Stars. You thought you were having a good year. Rossi was always reaching out to befriend the loneliest players, always organizing team dinners, always breaking down the barriers that sometimes arise between players of different backgrounds in the clubhouse. The last to speak at the meeting was Rizzo, the young team leader who all season long was reminding his teammates that they were going to make history together. They were going to have a parade and then be linked in eternity forever. Anthony, a survivor of pediatric cancer, just celebrated the World Series by making a $3.5 million gift to Chicago's Lurie Children's Hospital. Schwarber, who had the bat in his hands and raced out of the meeting into the batter's box, had torn 2 ligaments in his knee in the 3rd game of the season, a 12 to 15-month injury. Rather than disappearing to a rehab facility, Schwarber, just 23 years old, stayed connected with the team, getting his rehab work done early in the morning so his teammates didn't have to see him in that state, and then functioning as an extra coach for his teammates the rest of the day. He kept telling his teammates he was going to find a way to be there for them, find a way to help them win. Shocking the doctors and everyone else, Schwarber returned in just 6 months, right in time for the World Series. He hit over 400 in the World Series, including that single to start the deciding rally in Game 7. So early in my career, I used to think of players as assets, statistics on a spreadsheet I could use to project future performance and measure precisely how much they were going to impact our team on the field. I used to think of teams as portfolios, diversified collections of player assets, paid to produce up to their projections to ensure the organization's success. My head had been down. That narrow approach worked for a while, but it certainly had its limits. I grew, and my team building philosophy grew as well.